Have you ever met someone who seems completely unaffected by anything? Someone who never breaks, never begs, never explains. They move through life like ice, cold, calculated, untouchable. What do they know that you don't? There's a certain type of man who operates on a different frequency. He doesn't chase validation. He doesn't react to provocations. He doesn't explain himself to anyone. To most people, he seems cold, distant, maybe even cruel. But here's the truth. This coldness isn't weakness. It's weaponized strength. 500 years ago, Machiavelli understood this. He saw that the men who ruled the world weren't the kindest. They weren't the warmest. They were the ones who mastered emotional control. They were the ones who understood power. Today, we're going to explore 5 dark secrets behind mentally cold men. These aren't traits you'll find in self-help books. These are the uncomfortable truths that make certain men untouchable in business, relationships, and life. Warning: what you're about to learn will change how you see human nature forever. If you're ready to pull back the curtain on psychological power, stay with me. And if this video resonates with you, subscribe. Because we're going deep into the shadows of human psychology. Let's begin. The first secret is the most powerful. Mentally cold men have mastered emotional detachment. Listen carefully. They feel emotions. But they don't let emotions control them. Most people are slaves to their feelings. Someone insults them, they react. Someone ignores them, they panic. Someone rejects them, they crumble. But the cold man, he observes his emotions like a scientist observes data. He acknowledges them. Then he moves forward based on logic, not feelings. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." What does this mean? While others are drowning in emotional reactions, the cold man is already 10 steps ahead. He's already calculated the outcome. He's already made his move. Think about it. When you're emotionally reactive, you're predictable. And when you're predictable, you're controllable. But when you're detached, you become a mystery. People can't manipulate you because they can't trigger you. They can't guilt trip you. They can't sweet talk you. They can't threaten you. You operate from a position of absolute clarity. Here's an example. Imagine someone tries to provoke you in a meeting. They insult your work. They question your competence. The average person gets defensive. Their heart races, their voice rises. They lose composure. The cold man, he pauses. He smiles slightly. He responds with calm precision, or he says nothing at all. He knows that silence is often the most devastating response. His detachment is his armor. Nothing penetrates it. This isn't about being emotionless. It's about emotional sovereignty. You feel everything, but nothing controls you. And that makes you dangerous. Because while everyone else is reacting, you're strategizing. The second secret is strategic silence. Most people fear silence. They fill every gap with words. They explain, they justify, they overshare. But the mentally cold man understands something profound. Silence is power. Machiavelli knew this. He observed that the most powerful rulers spoke less and listened more. They revealed nothing. They gave away no vulnerabilities. When you talk too much, you expose yourself. You show your insecurities. You reveal your strategies. You give people ammunition to use against you. But silence? Silence creates mystery. It makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to fill the void. And when they do, they reveal themselves to you. Here's how the cold man uses silence. In negotiations, he doesn't rush to fill quiet moments. He lets the other person squirm. He waits. And usually, the other person breaks first. They offer more. They concede. They show their hand. In conflicts, he doesn't argue. He listens. He takes mental notes. He learns his opponent's weaknesses. Then, when the time is right, he strikes with precision. In relationships, he doesn't chase. He doesn't constantly text. He doesn't explain his every move. His absence creates intrigue. People start wondering about him. They start seeking his attention. Think about the most powerful people you know. They don't talk much. They observe. They calculate. They speak only when their words carry weight. The cold man knows that words lose value when you use too many of them. He also understands that not every statement deserves a response. Not every question deserves an answer. Not every provocation deserves acknowledgement. By choosing silence, he controls the narrative. He keeps people guessing. He maintains the upper hand. Remember, a wise man once said, "Never miss a good chance to shut up." The cold man lives by this. His silence is louder than anyone's words. The third secret is ruthless independence. Mentally cold men don't seek approval. They don't need validation. They don't care if you like them. This is terrifying to most people because society conditions us to seek acceptance. We want to be liked. We want to fit in. We want applause. But the cold man has transcended this need. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." He understood that the need for approval makes you weak. When you need people to like you, you compromise. You bend. You sacrifice your truth for their comfort. The cold man doesn't play this game. He makes decisions based on what's right for him. Not what makes others comfortable. Not what wins him popularity. Not what gets him praised. This gives him an unfair advantage. While others are paralyzed by the fear of judgment, he moves freely. He takes risks. He says no without guilt. He walks away without explanation. Here's a real example. Imagine you're offered a job that pays well but compromises your values. Most people take it. Why? Because they fear what others will think if they refuse. They fear being judged as foolish. They need external validation. The cold man? He rejects it without hesitation. He doesn't explain himself. He doesn't seek understanding. He simply moves on. He knows that seeking approval is a trap. It puts others in control of your life. The moment you stop needing people to understand you, you become free. The moment you stop caring about their opinions, you become powerful. The moment you operate from internal validation, you become untouchable. This doesn't mean being disrespectful. It means having unshakable standards. It means valuing your own judgment above the crowd's opinion. The cold man would rather stand alone in his truth than blend in with comfortable lies. And this independence is magnetic. Ironically, when you stop seeking approval, people respect you more. They're drawn to your self-assurance. But the cold man doesn't do it for that reason. He does it because he answers to no one but himself. The fourth secret is calculated commitment. The mentally cold man never rushes into anything. He observes. He analyzes. He tests. Then he decides. Most people operate on impulse. They commit based on emotions. They invest in relationships too quickly. They trust too easily. They believe promises without evidence. This is why they get hurt. This is why they get betrayed. This is why they get exploited. The cold man is different. Machiavelli advised, before all else, be armed. This doesn't just mean physical weapons. It means being armed with information, with awareness, with strategy. The cold man arms himself through observation. He watches how people behave when they think no one's watching. He notices patterns. He tests loyalty before giving trust. He asks himself questions. What does this person want from me? What are their incentives? What happens if this goes wrong? What's my exit strategy? This isn't paranoia. This is wisdom. In business, he doesn't sign contracts without reading every line. He doesn't partner with people based on charisma alone. He verifies credentials. He checks track records. He protects his interests. In relationships, he doesn't fall for words. He watches actions. Someone can say they love you, but do their behaviors match? Are they consistent? Do they show up when it's inconvenient? The cold man knows that time reveals truth. So he gives things time. He doesn't commit his resources, his time, money, energy, or loyalty until he's certain. And here's the dark part. If he discovers betrayal or incompetence, he cuts ties without hesitation. No second chances. No emotional goodbyes. He simply removes the person from his life. Why? Because he calculated the value they bring versus the risk they pose. And the math didn't work out. This seems cruel to outsiders, but to the cold man, it's logical. Why would you keep a liability in your life? This calculated approach makes him resilient. He doesn't get blindsided. He doesn't get his heart broken by people he should have never trusted. He doesn't lose money on bad deals he should have never made. He moves through life like a chess player. Every move is deliberate. Every commitment is strategic. And this makes him untouchable. Because while others are recovering from preventable disasters, he's already 3 moves ahead. The fifth and final secret is the power of mystery. Mentally cold men reveal very little about themselves. They don't broadcast their plans. They don't share their struggles. They don't expose their vulnerabilities. They understand what Machiavelli knew. Familiarity breeds contempt. When people know everything about you, you lose power. You become ordinary. You become predictable. You become dismissible. But mystery creates fascination. The cold man operates in shadows, not because he's hiding something shameful, but because he understands that revealing everything removes your advantage. Think about it. When you tell everyone your plans, what happens? They doubt you. They discourage you. They share your ideas with others. They secretly hope you fail. The cold man shares nothing. He works in silence. Then he appears with results. This shocks people. They didn't see it coming. They underestimated him. And that's exactly what he wanted. In relationships, he doesn't overshare. He doesn't dump his entire life story on the first date. He reveals himself slowly, in layers. This keeps people intrigued. In social settings, he doesn't dominate conversations with stories about himself. He asks questions. He listens. He remains an enigma. People are naturally curious about what they don't know. The cold man leverages this. Here's the dark psychology behind it. When you're mysterious, people project onto you. They imagine you're more interesting, more powerful, more capable than you might actually be. And the cold man lets them believe it. He also knows that mystery protects him. If people don't know your weaknesses, they can't exploit them. If they don't know your strategies, they can't counter them. If they don't know your vulnerabilities, they can't attack them. This is why powerful people rarely give interviews. Why successful strategists never reveal their methods. Why the truly wealthy don't flaunt their money. They understand that invisibility is strength. The cold man applies this to everything. His finances are private. His relationships are private. His next move is private. He operates like a phantom. Present but untraceable. Influential but unreachable. And this mystery makes him magnetic. People want to know more. They want access. They want to understand him. But he never fully reveals himself. He always keeps something in reserve. This is his ultimate protection. This is his final advantage. When no one truly knows you, no one can truly touch you. So, there you have it. The 5 dark secrets behind mentally cold men. They master emotional detachment. They embrace strategic silence. They operate without seeking approval. They calculate before they commit. They weaponize mystery. These aren't comfortable truths. They don't align with what society tells you about being authentic and vulnerable and open. But Machiavelli didn't write about comfort. He wrote about power, about survival, about what actually works in the real world. Now, here's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you willing to embrace these truths? Are you willing to trade warmth for strength? Are you willing to become untouchable? This isn't for everyone. Some people prefer to stay warm, open, and emotionally available, and that's fine. But if you've been hurt too many times, if you've been taken advantage of, if you're tired of being predictable and controllable, then maybe it's time to embrace the cold. Because in a world full of chaos and manipulation, the cold man doesn't just survive, he dominates. If this video opened your eyes to a different way of seeing power, hit that subscribe button. We're going deeper into dark psychology, Machiavellian strategy, and the hidden rules that govern human behavior. Drop a comment below. Which of these 5 secrets resonated with you most? Are you already using any of these strategies? And if you want more content like this, let me know what topics you want me to explore next. Remember, the wise adapt, the weak complain, the cold prevail. See you in the next one.